Hello, I'm Ian Morris with Light Reading. I'm here at Mobile World Congress with Howard Watson, the Chief Security and Networks Officer of BT. That's the right order?
That is the right order.
Yes,
Great
the
to
first
see you,
time I've
Ian.
ever done it. So it's 2025, it's another Mobile World Congress. It seems to come around every few weeks to me at the moment.
I think it's busier or less busy than last year. Can't tell yet.
I think it's, people have been saying to me it's a bit less busy, they feel, but I'm not sure.
Still seems busy.
Yeah, and then I've had other people saying they feel the themes are, there's not a huge amount that's new that stands out, but I'm kind of interested to get your view on that, because you've been going to sessions that I wouldn't get invited to, meeting people that I don't see. So yeah, what stands out? What are the big kind of takeaways? And
I think looking on the floor and looking at what people are talking about, on the shop floor, for want of a better word, it's still AI. It's now agentic AI. Last year was all generative AI.
Right.
This year we're talking now about agentic AI. The simple way I think about that is that means it's AI that does stuff.
Right.
Generative AI generates content. Agentic AI continually learns and then tries to take action. Self-driving cars would probably be the best example, but we're looking at how we can use that for a variety of use cases, like AI ops for networks, AI for customer services, better chatbots, even voice chat. So that's a big topic that I can see, just walking and looking on the stands and the booths. In the meetings, another interesting topic has been sovereign cloud. Right. And I think that's a bit of a reflection of the geopolitics coming into the week. But, really about, are we going to see more of a shift towards, country-specific, maybe, the lead telco in the country, hosting a sovereign cloud for government and large customers.
Yeah, so just to go back to the agentic AI, this sounds like you might have several of these in a system kind of communicating with each other to some extent in a network and doing specific tasks and then passing something on to the next one. Is that kind of how it works?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Certainly, and you could have it at each layer in the network. I think in its extreme, you could almost think about having a little digital twin agentic AI for every customer.
Right.
Where it knew that customer's background and, in terms of interaction with us. And then if they had a problem, it immediately surfaced that and could start suggesting actions that, customer service agents could take.
And is it the same people pushing agentic AI that have been talking about generative AI, the hyperscalers?
Yeah, fundamentally, yes. And I think there's a bit more, it doesn't necessarily need such a large language model, which might be an advantage in terms of, where you can host it, how you can train it.
Yeah.
So there's opportunities there.
Yeah, there's more of a role potentially for smaller players to get involved in the ecosystem.
Yep.
And on the sovereign cloud, you've been quite big on the sovereign cloud anyway in the UK with the telco cloud, but do you see a push towards that? Because there's been this debate going on for ages about, do we use the public cloud to host telco workloads as well as the kind of IT stuff? And
I think I as you know, I've not put any network workloads into the public cloud. The Telecom Security Act in the UK, I think we're in what's called Domain 2 there, which is the applications that really interact with the network, absolutely need to stay on premise, as well as, the core itself in what we call our network cloud. This is very much about, an enterprise cloud, where you'd have compute, possibly GPUs as well.
Right.
And of course, there's still a lot of conversation about GPUs and where would you place them as a telco, but using that to host other workloads.
Okay, and then maybe topics that haven't been such a big point of conversation, because things come and go at Mobile World Congress. Open RAN is often a topic at this show. I've not seen quite as much on it this year.
Yeah, nor have I. Why do you think that is?
It doesn't seem like Open RAN is in a particularly good state. And I was in a session actually with an operator yesterday, and I can't say who it was because it was sort of on background, but they were coming out with comments about it. It just hasn't really worked out the way it was supposed to.
I do think single vendor Open RAN, which is sort of where most of the deployments have headed, is sort of defeating the object of it.
Right.
Now, I do think, another thing that's been talked about more is AI RAN.
Yeah.
The RAN interface controller, the RIC, rather, RAN intelligent controller. I see that as an opportunity, and as a good opportunity for AI deployment, just looking at how we balance energy consumption with, with carriers and lighting up spectrum, just as a simple example. I see that there, and that is part of Open RAN.
Yeah.
But that sort of CU, DU, RU from different vendors doesn't seem to be making progress.
Yeah, no, I agree. And AI RAN, just to sort of move on to that very briefly, that's very much driven by NVIDIA, but other people seem to be getting involved in it. Is
Well,
that
be careful, because
Right.
I think it's the confusing term as ever. I think what NVIDIA have been talking about is, should some MNOs like ourselves use GPUs in a base station to carry some of the workloads of the RU and the DU, and then use some of that spare capacity for GPU as a service.
Yeah.
That's a different use case from what I would talk about AI RAN, which is using the RIC interface to use that RAN set of assets in a really efficient way.
And what do you think about the other one, the one that NVIDIA is pushing?
I think I'm going to have a look at what the other guys are doing. That's a perfect telco example of build it and they will come, and I'm not going to do that until they've arrived.
Okay, well, as always, thank you very much, Howard. Hopefully we can get together and do it again in a few months' time.
For sure. Thank you, Ian.
Thanks.